and we'll begin the launch of the next innovation that we have in lineup for you. And for that, I'd like to welcome our CEO once again onto the stage, Mr. Kaushal Shah. This particular new product will definitely revolutionize the way you are operating your pharmacy. So I'm pretty sure the future is here that we are going to launch it. Please welcome Mr. Kaushal Shah.
And something I'm really excited about. So let's do it. Are you guys ready? Okay. So just like the previous conversation we had, everything we do, we want to start from the very basic fundamental questions we like to ask ourselves. And the question we ask here is, what does a good software does, right? What does a good software looks like? What does a good software should do to their users? And I'm not talking from consumer application. I'm talking from a B2B application. So the software that are built for the businesses, right? And so, we ask this question often enough to ourselves as well, that what does a good or a great software does? And of course it says three things like it should. First, it should help you save money, right? It should help the businesses save money. Second is, it should help you save time. Save money, save time. And the last is, it should help you grow your business. Very simple, right? But that's the idea. We want to keep it simple so that every time we build something, we want to make sure, is it helping in one of these three aspects? Of course, a great product, a really good product does all three things. It's not just one of them, but at least it has to do one of those things. If it's not doing any of those things, I don't know why did you pay for it. But it helps you save money, save time, grow business. And I'm not talking about like our software only. I'm talking about any software that you use for your businesses should do one of these three things. Very basic, but still important. And let's talk about a software for the pharma space, right? Like, what are the most important thing about a pharmacy software then? Let's be more specific than a general B2B application. So it should help you with purchases, right? Tying that sort of earlier, and for those who are very well aware of our product, things like purchase analysis save that you get after saving a purchase into system tells you if there's any margin differences. That's our way of trying to help you save money. Then there is also same thing, purchase as well as inventory management. Uploading your CSVs help you save time, right? So I'm just still going through the same 3 points: save money, save time, or grow your business. Of course, and the last thing is customer service. For those who have been using the software knows very well, we've been very aggressive about the customer relationship feature from day one. And that's our way of helping you grow your business. So we try to, like I said, every feature we build, whether it's small feature or a large upgrade or anything, we make sure that it at least does one of those three things: either save you time, save you money, or grow your business. If it doesn't do any of those three things, most likely we won't build it. So if you want to put any feature request, make sure you go through the same logic: save money, save time, or grow your business. And in pharma, it sort of touches upon these three different aspects. I'm talking about retail pharmacies only right now. Either help you with purchases, help you with inventory management through saving money, or help you provide a great customer service. It's very simple. I know all of you guys are thinking, of course it's very simple. I don't know why I'm sitting here listening to that, when it's so obvious, so straightforward. And yet we also know it's very hard, right? For those who are sitting in the audience who've done this thing before, running a pharmacy for a long time, it's very hard. It's very easily said, but it's very hard to actually deliver it. Making purchases easy and making customer service great and all that, but it's still very hard. Why? And so I ask myself, why it's so hard? Why running a retail pharmacy very well is so hard? And I boiled down the whole thing to three different points: that why running a pharmacy of any scale, small, large, chain, it doesn't matter, it's very hard. Why? What makes it hard? And the first thing I came across is large product catalog. Retail pharmacies are extremely unique in businesses, in terms of small businesses or medium businesses. It deals with an insane amount of products every day, every single day. An average pharmacy carries more than 4,000 unique SKUs at any given time. If you are lucky like Anand sir, I shouldn't say lucky, he's very hardworking. So If you are like Anand sir, Maruti Medical, you carry 30,000 plus SKUs. Same thing with Mega Medical, Mahesh sir, you carry around 35,000, 30,000, 25,000 unique products, right, every day. And what makes it fun is also that product catalog changes every single day. New products come out, product gets discontinued, pricing change, MRP changes, you name it and it's there. So a really large product catalog makes it extremely hard to run a pharmacy very well. The second is long hours, right? It's long hours. It's no other businesses like pharmacies, retail pharmacies, spend that much amount serving their customers. You start 8 in the morning, you close 11 at night, and that is if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, then you run 24 hours, or at least 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and whatnot. And of course, you don't take weekends off. You work through all the weekends, every Sunday. Right, Anand sir, you don't close for even Diwali, I think.
I'm lucky.
You're lucky. So you spend really a lot of time, running your businesses. So a large product catalog and long hours makes it complicated. There's one more element to it. It's the compliance, right? It's a highly regulated business. You want to be, you are dispensing medicines to patients. You want to be extremely careful. You can't be careless. You're not serving, any casual items that, there's no repercussions. There's a lot of repercussions. If you make a mistake, there's a big consequences to it. Of course, the compliance, right? You have to report to the government in terms of schedule reports and any type of TB medications or whatnot. And of course, the usual business compliance like GST and accounting is also there. So all these three combined things, large product catalog, long hours, and compliance, makes it extremely hard to run a retail pharmacy without a good software, right? Forget about even with the good software, it's still hard. It's extremely hard. So that's what I want to sort of focus on today. So of course you need a software, right? You need a software, but you need a software that is you need a software that is more than just recording transactions. So when we started it, right, we studied other softwares out there. They're all built 20 years ago, offline, clunky user experiences. You have to install it and all that. But more importantly, what I hated about them, and I still hate, is they're simply recording transactions for you. Whatever you put in as an entry, whenever you ask it for back, they return it back to you. So it's like a notebook, right? You write everything in your notebook. This is what I purchased, this is what I sold, this is what I purchased, this is what I sold. 2 years later, you go and open the netbook, you can find those transactions. And that's what those softwares did, just recording transactions. You put in the data entry, and whenever you ask for it, they return it back to you. It's not doing anything more than that. Anything, right? They just throw in some reports every now and then, you don't even know what it does, but to justify their AMCs. But you need a software that is more than just recording transactions. What do you need? What you need is, you need a software that helps you make right purchase decisions, right? Right purchase decisions, that's the key thing. Not just purchase entries, right purchase decisions, that's the key thing. You need a software that is telling you how your store is performing. How do you know whether your store is performing well or not? You have no idea. Your software never really told you that. Whether your store is performing, at optimal capacity, suboptimal, bad, is it improving, is it getting degraded? You don't know that. So you need a software to tell you that. And of course, you need a software that helps you deliver a high-class customer service. As a country, as we progress towards more developed nation, one thing that is inevitable, that you cannot avoid, is people are going to ask you for better and better and better services. And yesterday I was having dinner with some of our clients who came early. We were talking about it. Do you realize how much demanding we ourselves have become to demand other services, about such a high-class service? But are we providing the same kind of services to our customers, to our patients? And you cannot do that if you have to deal with large product catalog and long hours and compliance. So you need a help doing that helps you deliver high-class customer service. And most importantly now, let's talk about some important stuff. Most importantly, you need a software that actually gets better over time. Most of the software, of course, before eVital, are actually, if anything, they're getting worse over the time. They become clunky, they become slow. So think of going back to notebook analogy, right? You write all these things in the notebook, and the notebooks get bigger and bigger and bigger. And one day you want to find something from the notebook, it becomes slower and slower because the notebook is this big now, right? So most of the software doesn't even get better, let alone it might get worse over the time. But you need a software that gets better with experience. the software that is actually helpful, right? Not just answering your question, but it actually helps you in certain ways. It provides a certain context to whatever you are looking for, whatever you want to deliver. So experience and help, gets better with experience, and it's actually helpful. And the best part is you need something that is actually intelligent. Again, not just a notebook. I'm pretty sure you can do just fine with notebook as well. Yes, it might be a little slow, but you can do with a notebook. But you want something that is intelligent, right? So again, let's refresh this. Most importantly, you need a software that gets better with experience. It's actually helpful, not just answering your questions, and it's actually intelligent, right? One more time. It actually gets better with experience. It's actually helpful for things you want to do, and it's actually intelligent. And I see some smiles in the room, and I'm sure there's a giveaway on the right side of the slide, something called AI, which of course gets better with experience, it's actually helpful, and it's actually intelligent. So without further ado, let me introduce something that we've been working on. We call Sahaai. Of course, Sahaai in Hindi, it's help, right? The help is called Sahaai. Of course, there's a connotation that says AI at the end, which I'm sure you guys noticed. What is Sahaai? What is Sahaai? Let's take a look at it. Sahaai helps you everything, regarding purchase, making sure your purchases are right. Not just enter. Of course, right now in eVital you can enter your purchases pretty easily than any other software I've seen so far, at least. So, but it helps you with making the purchase decisions. What else? It helps you with inventory management, right? Overstocking, expiring, non-moving products, so on and so forth. It helps you with inventory management. And the last, as we always do, Sahaai helps you with a great customer service. Helps you deliver great customer service. It doesn't do anything on its own. So Sahaai does all the three things that we've been talking about. But Sahaai, the way Sahaai is different than eVital is it gets better over time. It gets better and better and better over time. The more you use it, the better it gets. Sahaai is proactive help, not just help, not just help. What does proactive means? It helps you even before you ask. Even before you ask. That's what proactive means. Even before you ask, Sahaai helps you. And we'll look at all the specifics, so don't worry about it from being a bit of vague here. So Sahaai helps you proactively. And the last is, it's extremely intelligent and empowering. I think I want to focus on the word empowering rather than intelligent. Intelligence is obvious, but empowering, it's very important to understand what that word means. It empowers you, it empowers your pharmacy, it empowers your staff to do better things, to do better things. So Sahaai gets better over time, it's proactively helpful, and it's definitely intelligent and empowering. But before we get into details, I want to spend some time understanding what Sahaai is not. Because some of you are already judging it, like, oh, this must be that, this must be that. No. Let's not go there. Well, let's talk about what Sahaai is not. That's the most important thing. Sahaai is not reports. For those who work with me closely for a while, with feature request and everything, every time I get a report request, I roll my eyes. If you are on the phone, I'll tell you a secret right now, I'm rolling my eyes. I don't like reports. I absolutely hate reports, as a matter of fact. When we used to do sales, our sales and Ajay and Chintan and all the founding team used to go to early customers and some who didn't turn out to be customers, and they're like, oh, how many reports you have? Oh, we have these 10 reports. And even now, I think after expanding certain, I don't think we have more than 20 reports. Back then, we did not even have 20 reports. We had 10 reports. And we were like, oh, this old software, without naming them, I have 200 reports, okay? I would always ask them, how many you use? Not that many. Okay, no problem. How about this one? What do you think this report does? They have no clue. Okay, or if I want to get to know this, एक मिनट मैं देख के बताता हूँ. And they would scratch their head, and 10 minutes they would spend and click few many times, and अरे यार तेरे को पता है वो किधर से रिपोर्ट निकलता है, and then they will, अरे वो जिसको आता है ना वो बंदा आज आया नहीं है, right? Not one guy has convinced me to give them more reports. So I hate large number of reports. I absolutely hate it. So Sahaai is definitely not reports. Let's say even if you boil down to 10 reports, I want to look at these 10 reports. Okay, I don't care if it's 190 reports other than that. The fact that these guys just made 190 reports. By the way, I'll tell you a secret. The reason they also made these 190 reports that you don't need is because they have to justify their AMC. Right? They have to come to your store every year and they have to justify why they are asking for AMC. So they will just tell you, oh sir, अभी हम लोगों ने ये 2 और report बनाया ना, तो वो बढ़िया रहेगा. And I bet you 100% nobody has used those reports, but they have to justify it. So even if you boil down to 10 reports that you look at it, if you're running a good sized pharmacy, you are selling 400, 500 unique products easily. You are selling 3,000 products daily, right? Depending upon the size of the pharmacy. Let's just stick with the average, which is 400 or so. 10 reports, 400 items. Imagine how much time you have to spend every day to go through that report. And you good luck finding any issues in there, because there's just no way any of us, no matter how dedicated you are spending every day 1 hour looking at the reports. Nobody is doing it, right? So large number of reports, definitely time consuming. And of course, it's not customized for your workflow, right? It's just like they just slap few columns together, they give it to you in different formats, they call it a new report so they can justify it. And it's not customized at all. You know, you could be a small pharmacy, large pharmacy, pharmacy chain, generic pharmacy, hospital pharmacy. You know, it doesn't know that. It just has 200 reports. You go and find them if you can. So Sahaai is definitely not reports. So what Sahaai is? Sahaai is more like alerts. And not just alerts, intelligent alerts, right? It alerts you. It's not telling you to look at the report. It alerts you every time you need to be alerted. And it's actually important, because we want you to spend less than 10 minutes a day on Sahaai. We don't want, I think if you spend more than 10 minutes a day on Sahaai, please call me and tell me I failed. I don't want you to spend more than 10 minutes a day on Sahaai alerts, right? It's supposed to be extremely intelligent, and it should tell you only things you're supposed to know, not the garbage that you have to sift through. And lastly, it's customized for your own pharmacy. If you are a large pharmacy, you'll get alerts accordingly. If you're a small pharmacy, you'll get alerts accordingly. If you're a generic pharmacy, you'll get alerts accordingly. Everything is customized to your workflow, to your pharmacy, to things you need, right? So Sahaai is certainly not reports. It's very different. It's an intelligent alert system that you spend less than 10 minutes a day, that is extremely customized for your needs. So lastly, the comparison between the reports and Sahaai. Think of Sahaai and reports comparison as an employee versus a partner, right? A good employee, that is, not just an employee, a good employee, you still have to ask them questions. क्या हुआ, कितना बेचा, कौन सा नहीं बेचा, कौन सा customer आया था, कल क्यों ये क्यों नहीं आया है? And they will answer you. They will tell you everything you need to know. Just a good employee. I'm not about a normal employee or a really good employee. But you still have to ask them questions. But Sahaai is more like a partner. What does a partner do versus an employee? It tells you what you need to know. If you don't need to know, they won't bug you, right? And you don't even have to ask questions. You don't have to ask questions. A good partner tells you, I think we should look at this thing. I think we should decide this thing, right? So Sahaai, reports versus Sahaai is like employee versus partner. Now, Sahaai, let's get into more details. Sahaai is more than just the software. It's actually way more than software. And I know some of you guys are still thinking, like, what the hell is Sahaai? I can't understand. I don't know what this guy is talking about. Report. Okay, I get it. It's not a report. It's an alert system. But what the hell is Sahaai? So I thought about some analogies that is outside software and outside pharma that might actually clarify the vision we have for Sahaai. So let's take a look at it. So if you are a Bollywood fan, think of Sahaai to your pharmacy is like this, right? Sahaai to your pharmacy is like what circuit is to Munna Bhai, right? Now, if you're not a Bollywood fan, if you are into cricket, let's take a look at it. It's like Rena to Dhoni. So Sahaai to your pharmacy is like Rena to Dhoni. Let's say you're not a Bollywood fan, not a cricket fan, but you're a political junkie, right? As you guessed it. Sahaai to your pharmacy is like, well, I don't have to say this. So I think you're getting the image clearly. And don't worry, I'll get into specifics, right? But I think with the analogy, I think I've set the right tone. So Sahaai is the manager you wish you had, right? Every time I meet a customer or a friend or whoever is running a business, they want to grow their business, they want to open up another branch, they want to launch a new product, whatever they want to do, they always say something, अरे यार कोई एक अच्छा आदमी मिल जाता ना, उसका एक अच्छा मैनेजर मिल जाए ना, एक अच्छा पार्टनर मिल जाए ना यार. But I want to grow this business, I want to create another branch, I want to go to another city, right? Sahaai is the manager you wish you had, you wish you had. So enough of the talks. I know some of you are already doubting me, like, that's not gonna happen, that's not gonna happen. So we'll take a look at the major use cases today, 3 major use cases, that how does actually Sahaai helps you. First one I want to take a look at is the autopilot purchase system. How does Sahaai helps you make your purchase completely on autopilot, right? That's the first one we're gonna talk about. And I know purchase, I know there is a pharmacy name in Ahmedabad, which never turned out to be a customer, by the way, despite my insane amount of efforts. His name is Rawani Medical, Mehul Rawani, and he's in Ahmedabad, as some of you already know. And he told me this, and I will never forget it. He said, forget about my sales. Purchase is my problem. I will never forget those words. So with that in mind, autopilot purchase system. 4 stages of autopilot purchase system, Sahaai works through. First, item selection, distributor selection, order communication in inward, post-purchase analysis, right? So let's take a look at each of them. As you can see, this is sort of like any typical purchase, complete purchase system that you would go through. Item selection, distributor selection, order communication, and post-purchase analysis. So let's take a look at one by one. Item selection, right? Let's take a look at the animation first, and then I'll explain you what it means. And I can play one more time if you need to. So first is the item selection. What products needs to be ordered, in what quantities it needs to be ordered, right? That's the most critical thing. And I know some of you has already used this, min-max, or if you're so on sophisticated side, you might call it ISQ, ROLs. And we used it, we know about it, but we take few notches up, actually more than few notches. The problem with min-max is static. It's static in nature. Now we all know in business, the new products get introduced, the old products get outdated, and your static min-max has never changed. You might end up overstocking, understocking, and you never really change anything. So that's one of the biggest problem with the static min-max thing. So what we did is we actually recalibrate, what we in technical terms call recalibration, every week. Every week we're looking at the data. And by the way, just one more disclosure here, disclaimer here. When I say we, there is nobody in the eVital office sitting there looking at the data. So Sahaai is not a person, it's the system I'm talking about when I say we. I'm speaking loosely here. So system looks at the new data that comes in and analyzes those data from the recent history and adjusts the min-max accordingly, right? So every week the new data comes in, it adjusts it. But here's what it does, very interesting. It is still very simple, right? It is what it gets interesting. It actually automatically knows which orders to discard and not use it for the calculation purpose. And for those who are technical, very technical, we can get in later on over the lunch. I don't want to bore everybody else through a lot of details. But it uses that every week. It uses for min-max. But one more thing it does pretty cool is because the history recently is still backward looking, it actually uses the seasonality, seasonal data for the forward looking. So for example, let's say a winter is coming. Now winter medications are different than what you have been selling for last 2-3 months, right? So it also accounts for forward looking data from the last year or so. So it combines both of them, recent sales versus the last year sales for the seasonality accommodation. It combines them in a proportion, it predicts the weekly sales, it uses for min-max, and that's how the whole system actually defines what products need to be bought and not bought or whatever. Now, I know some of you guys are a control freak. You're like, no. Nobody's ordering items without my discretion. So I have good news for them. There is some manual control over the automatic process. So as much as these you can do 100% automatic, I'm sure you want, manual control. These people are like, they would buy a Tesla that can drive itself, and yet they would never really let the Tesla drive itself. They would still drive it themselves. But If you ask them, they'll tell you they bought Tesla because there's a fully self-driving machine. So you have good news for them. You can have some controls. It's a high MRP product, right? MRP is 3,000 rupees. Arey yaar, wo pata nahi, wo uska algorithm kya karega. Let me take a control over this thing. So you can define any MRP that you are comfortable about that. It won't touch your products. Infrequent sales, like I say, although algorithm itself takes care of this thing, if you still want to further take care of it, control it, you can. You can define that I don't want you to order anything that is sold infrequently. And lastly, special requests, special products, right? We all have these customers, they come in, they buy 50 strips and then never show up for 6 months, right? So there is also this special, or this specially requested, it's not really a product that you usually sell. So you can also define those and keep under your control. The idea is not really, we can take 100% control if you want the Sahaai to do it. Again, when I say we, I don't mean anybody particular. But if you want, you can actually have some control over that as well. Practically speaking, I think the Sahaai can help you with 80-90% of the products, and on a daily basis, there's a 10% of the products you might want to have control over. And you can totally sort of configure that control. So that was the item selection. What products needs to be bought, in what quantities it needs to be bought. Let's take a look at this distributor selection, right? So you decided what products to be bought, and now which distributors are we going to buy from? So I don't know if it's clear from the slide, but I'll say it anyway. Right now we get the ideas. Whoever we bought the last time, the same distributor, just apply that same distributor, right? And the short book will automatically select the distributor. If you are a little more sophisticated than that, you might say, okay, whoever gave me the best purchase discount last time, margin last time, or last 3 months or so, select that distributor. I don't like that. I think there is more to it. I think there is way more to it. What about credit note? What if 2 guys give you the same margin, but one of them you have a credit note of 25,000 rupees, the other one you have 2,000 rupees? Which one would you order from? Credit note guy, right? The same margin. Then the second is also the ratings, right? Every purchase you make into eVital, you can actually rate the distributor. That ratings, whatever you are giving back to the rating system, it has to be utilized. So what about those ratings? So what we did is we combined few different aspects. Margin is one of them, of course. Then there is a credit note. Then there is the ratings. You can combine those aspects, and then only system will select a distributor. So again, item selection, quantity, and the distributor selection. But one more time, for the guys who want to have more control, and I appreciate this time actually, you can customize your algorithm. So let's say you care more about the credit note. You don't really care about margin. Maybe you are not giving a discount to your customers or whatever that could be. You care more about ratings. You care less about margin. Whatever your preferences are, you'll be able to customize your own algorithm. You can say, this is more important to me, this is less important to me. We don't have any say in those things. It's completely up to you. We can help you customize the algorithm if you want, but we don't have to, or you don't have to listen to us. That's kind of what I meant. So of course, in that case, a distributor C will not be selected. Now distributor B will be selected because you change your preferences. So if you just call them and you start ordering them, of course, we don't know when you called them, right? So that is, it's really important to route those orders through one of those channels so that the timestamp actually helps you. Of course, you can still go ahead and call if you want. The algorithm just won't get better over time. So now, inward, I won't talk about it. You guys already know what we are providing in inward in terms of barcodes and CSV and whatever you want. So order communication and inward. And the last one is actually my favorite. We don't spend enough time on post-purchase analysis. Okay, the purchase is saved and it's over. Have you really thought about if the purchase was good or not? I know some of you guys think about when it's time to make a payment, but still, have you thought in a very systematic manner? I don't think so. So TAT, total turnaround time analysis is given. And this is why I said, it's very important to send those orders through the PO system or the email or a channel so that it actually helps you what the turnaround time for the distributor is. some of you, some of us are lucky to sitting in a very, very, sophisticated markets where the turnaround time is not a big deal, right? You call the distributor, if you are a big counter, they'll deliver it to you in 3 hours, 10 hours, 5 hours, whatever it is. But it's not always the case, which is what I learned. Even though you might be a large pharmacy, if you're sitting in a market that not sophisticated distributors are serving you, turnaround time is a big deal, right? My sir might know a little bit about that as well. We have customers in Delhi, they're running 50 plus locations, and turnaround time is 2 days, 3 days, right? It's crazy. It's really crazy to me that in a city like Delhi that could happen. So turnaround time analysis helps you tune up your algorithm in future. Of course, margin analysis, one of the most important thing. We already sort of do this thing in terms of purchase analysis report. I think Sanjay sir here from Vadika Medical, I remember he asked me for the report, and we did do the report. But my problem was the report, who's gonna check it at the end of the day? You're making so many purchases. So now it's gonna be in form of alerts, smart alerts. It will only alert you when you need to be alerted. And the last is dump and bounce. This is actually something nobody's asked, I don't know why. If you're a large pharmacy, I have bad news for you. You ask for 10 strips, I bet you there are 15 strips coming for certain products. And you just don't know about it because nobody's really checking what you're really getting. So that's called dump, right? The distributors are dumping onto you. Then there is a bounce. You order 100 items, you only get 90. You need to be alerted about those things too. You need to know which 10 items are not received. And more importantly, you need to know the quality of the distributor so that you do business accordingly. So there will be also a dump and a bounce analysis. This is all part of the post-purchase analysis. So there are 4 stages of autopilot purchase system that Sahaai works through. Let's talk about the second use case. So first one, remember I said 3 major use cases we'll talk about. First one was purchase, the autopilot purchase system. The second one is customer service. So second, let's talk about how does Sahaai help you with customer service. Customer churn alert. So you'll get a dedicated email with in-mail preview. This is the customer. We spend enormous amount of time in building our customer base, maintaining that customer base, and then yet there is a churn, right? In software business, we call churn for the guys who did not renew for the subscription. And I'm sure you have the same thing. Your regular customers, they just stop showing up at your doorstep. Now, if you are serving thousands of customers over the month, it's extremely hard to keep track of it. Now onwards, you'll get an alert in your email dedicated with Sahaai logo on it so that you know, because I know all of you guys are getting insane amount of emails, but this will stick out hopefully. And there will be a preview of customers. And for those who love reports, there will be a complete list as well. So you can look at the reports. This is actually very smart. This is not just telling you the guys who did not come because they visited your pharmacy one time. This is actually pretty smart. They actually figure out if there was a regular customer that stopped showing up at the doorstep. Because again, our job is not to send you the whole list that, okay, you sift through this thing. The job is to really tell you only clients that you need to be really aware about, right? So this is going to be a customer service where you get a customer churn report. Refill reminders, right? This was one of our good features we launched a long time ago, of course. You can send SMS, you can send WhatsApp and whatnot. It wasn't enough. I was never happy with it, and I think Sanjay sir is going to be extremely happy with what I'm about to say now. Because the healthcare is still a very personal subject. People want to hear your voice, people want to talk to you. They're on older side, they're not really keen on opening each and every link, especially with frauds going on and stuff. So even though you might send a refill reminder, they're like, I don't want to touch this thing. So what are we going to do about refill reminders?
नमस्कार, मैं समुदाय फार्मेसी से नवीन बात कर रहा हूँ। आपके प्रिस्क्रिप्शन को रिफिल करने का समय आ गया है। आपका स्वास्थ्य हमारे लिए महत्वपूर्ण है और हम ये सुनिश्चित करना चाहते हैं कि आपके पास हर समय आपकी आवश्यक दवाएं उपलब्ध रहें। आप eVitalRx का उपयोग करके घर बैठे आसानी से ऑर्डर कर सकते हैं। अन्यथा आप 9033071050 पर कॉल करके भी ऑर्डर कर सकते हैं। आपके स्वास्थ्य संबंधी जरूरतों के लिए समुदाय फार्मेसी पर भरोसा करने के लिए हम आपका धन्यवाद करते हैं। आपका दिन शुभ रहे।
So as you might have guessed, every regularly basis on refills, it won't be just WhatsApp or SMS or anything. It will actually automatically send a phone call, which you can record in your voice, in your language of choice, and it will be completely personalized to your pharmacy, and your patients will receive it as almost Anand sir has called, or Mahesh sir has called, or Sanjay sir has called, in their own voice. And the language, right? The language is the beautiful thing, right? If you want to show care, you have to speak in their language. So that's the refill reminder as a part of the whole, the Sahaai package for the customer's relationship. One-click RX to GX, right? Generics are not an unfamiliar thing in this room, right? Generics are sort of like becoming a future, if not already present. And we understand that people still show up with, branded prescriptions, branded medicines names, and it's extremely hard. If it's only one medication that you are already aware of it, you are a very experienced person, very easy for you. If you're not experienced, then it's very difficult for you. And one of the things I would like to mention before we proceed further is, what we also think about is the software should be such a good user experience that it's not only for the expert people. If you're really expert, if you spend 40 years at the pharmacy, you don't even need a software. You don't even need it. We try to make a software because even if your staff is 2 months into the experience, and they should be able to do the similar kind of services that you only after 10 years of experience are able to do, right? So this is one of the things that I personally love it actually. So if the patient shows up with the prescription that is completely branded, and you don't like to look at each and every one, one by one. And it's not just, by the way, limited to generic, as I will show you in a minute. You type in the prescription the way it is, or patient might have sent you an order online through the app. And there's a left bottom button there. So if you want to optimize the margin, which in generic a lot of times the case is, even if it's not generic, you can still optimize based on the recommendation. So first, let me just rephrase it. These are all the products that the patient actually asked for. And if you want to look at the alternatives available at the store, you can look with one click. It will be a selected item the patients have asked for, and then there is a suggested item that you can swap out. If you want to optimize your expiries, right? So it's the same composition, but it expires earlier. So of course you want to make sure that you can sell them. Or sometimes patient cannot afford high price, but there is an alternative that is cheaper in price. You can also opt for that. The beautiful thing about this feature is you just hit apply, and the whole prescription will be converted to the alternatives, right? That's the most beautiful thing. One thing, we won't convince the customer, you'll have to do that. We won't do that. You'll have to convince the customer. But it helps you with all this, time saving and of course money as well in this case. So one click, RX to GX. Inventory management and performance management. So we talked about purchase, we talked about customer service. Let's look at the third one, which is inventory management and performance monitoring. How does Sahaai help you with those things? So first we look at the performance indicators. So for those who have known me for a while, who work with closely, they know that I worked in finance for a long time. I spent about 7-8 years in hedge fund, doing all kind of funky things. But one of the things we learned in finance, and we did repeatedly, is we analyzed companies on certain metrics, right? How they are doing. We compare them against the peers. We also compare them over the time, at their, asset ratio, or the leverage, or a return on equity, or return on assets, whatever those might be. We look at those ratios, very religiously. And one of the shocking thing that I have learned, despite 3+ years in the business, nobody's ever told me, hey, can you build something that actually tells me whether my store is doing better over time or not, right? Not even as simple as something inventory turnover, which is simply, how many times you're rolling your inventory. You can do the math in your head. I'm sure you guys are all doing it in your head, but are you tracking it over time? I don't think so. And I think it's very important, because at least I'm kind of a guy who, if I have measures then in front of me, and if I can see the history, I see the issues that I have in whatever I'm involved with, right? Whether it's my health, or whether it's business, or whether anything. So taking the same idea further for our customers, for performance indicators, inventory turnover. Now you can measure your own inventory turnover, and you can track on a weekly basis over time, so you know where whether they're improving or not. But here it gets interesting. You can also break it down as per the categories, right? Because we all have certain products, either it's surgical, sometimes surgical, FMCG, generic, or whatever, to find the pinpoint of the problem. Like, where am I getting worse? Why am I getting worse, right? Because that's the second obvious step. So now you can, measure. Sahaai can tell you your inventory turn on a weekly basis. Similarly, people like to say, oh, I want to boost my sales. Well, yeah, you know what? Just get 25,000 unique items in your inventory, and I'm sure your sales will go through the roof, because availability is one of the biggest issue. But your ratios are going to be all whacked, because now your non-moving over the sales ratio is quite high, right? Yes, you bumped up your sales by 20%, but your inventory is up, non-moving inventory is up 100%. So the ratios are going to be all out of whack. So, and then last, of course, the bounce to sales, right? If you include each and every product out there into your store, your bounce is going to be zero, of course. On the flip side, if you include 0 products in your store, yes, your ratios on this side is amazing, but the bounce is going to be through the roof. So the idea is not that you will look at only one indicator. The idea is the collection of indicators that are sort of conflicting in nature, so that you can actually know how the store is actually evolving, how you can actually make an improvement, what things are hurting you in terms of the ratio. And of course, Sahaai helps you with all those measurement of ratios, not just in current manner, but also historically, so you know how things are evolving. Monitoring. For those who wants to really grow the business, right? Run multiple locations, a large pharmacy, it's almost impossible to sit there and monitor each and every bill, right? One of the things that people ask me, and we of course delivered, is complete log of each and every invoice, right? That was one of the things. And I still don't understand who's gonna sit there and look at each and every log of each and every invoice. That is impossible. That is impossible, right? That software should be able to tell you that. So if there are any suspicious billing practices, like unusual number of edits, unusual number of returns, Sahaai will alert you that something is fishy about this staff, this store, this time, whatever it could be, right? It will be also staff basis, so you can actually get an alert for that. Second is distributor quality. How many of you guys are sick and tired of this mismatch in CSV versus the physical, right? All of you, all of you. And now we have devised a way to figure out how accurate the CSV was compared to what that physically it was delivered. Of course, you will have to do the correction so that we can save the CSV and we can actually use that metric, CSV accuracy versus the batch, the physical accuracy, to feed that back into the system for the distributor selection, right? So I'll keep going back to the same principle. It has to get better and better over the experience, over the time. So that's one of the other monitoring. And the payments. The credit goes to Anand sir here. A few weeks ago when we were talking about it, he said, when I'm about to make payment, why don't you let me see each and every purchase that is in there, I should be able to click and I should be able to monitor. I'm like, a busy person like you, why are you looking at each and every purchase? And he said, well, sometimes they cut you on margin, sometimes they cut you on the expiries, early expiries, and so on and so forth. So we thought about it, like how can we make your life easier? Each and every purchase will be rated through 2 lenses of margin and expiry. And it won't be just like, oh, he sold us 6 months expiry. It will be much smarter than that, I can assure you that. Each purchase will be rated on the scale of 5 colors that you see down there. If there is a red color, that means there are products in there that are either very early in expiry or they really messed it up on margin. It will also be weighted accordingly to the items. So it's not a stupid algorithm. It's not like, okay, let's take 5 items and let's weight them, simply same average. It will be actually very, very smarter than that. Each and every purchase, but it doesn't stop there. If you go and make a payment of each purchase invoice, you select, let's say 15 purchases, it will also give you a composite score at the end so that you could be confident whether you should be making a payment for that collection of purchases. So it will basically, our whole goal is, if it's green, I want to earn your trust enough that you will just go ahead and make a payment. I want a feature request that you'll say, Kaushal, if it's green, and here's my ICICI bank account integration. Just make the goddamn payment. That's the kind of thing we want to go for. So those are some of the use cases. Like I said, Sahaai helps you make right purchase decisions, helps you manage the inventory pretty well, and of course helps you provide a great customer service as we saw. So without taking up too much of your time, I know you guys are dying for some questions and lunch. Let Sahaai make you a pharmacy that you always dreamed of. It's going to be available on eVital from 1st of November 2023, so next month. All right, some questions. So let's be aware of the fact that we are all, waiting for lunch as well. But I'll take a few questions at least. By the way, before we take questions, let me give some shout out to our team. Mitul is sitting here. Mitul has been our designer day one, and this beautiful presentation that you've seen is completely his hard work. Thank you so much, Mitul. I don't think we say thank you enough, but Mitul has been, I know some of you guys have, complimented us for our UI UX. Anand sir was like, we can't go back to any other UI anymore. So Mitul is the brain behind it, and he's extremely patient and introvert, but he's amazingly creative person. Thank you, Mitul. The team with Vitran that you saw earlier for distribution and delivery product, and the membership is sitting all the way in the back. Manav, Bhargav, Jignesh, and Dhruvi. Why don't you come up front? Are you shy? Developers tend to be shy, so they like to sit in the back and just do their work. And Sahaai has been a brainchild of Pujan. He's sitting with me. This is the first time, so I think a lot of you guys know Chintan, Adam, and Romil that has created earlier version of the software, but I want you to see the new faces of the company as well, which are extremely young. And I have a pleasure with working with a team that is extremely smart. They're also responsible for all the bugs. So these are the faces that you always get angry at. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your contribution, and I'm sure within the questions we'll have to ask you for your help. So now it's open up for the questions, whatever you may have for the products, Vitran, membership plans, or Sahaai. Questions? Is there any question from the online? We are also streaming live right now. So if there is any question that you want to ask from online audience.
We have a question: how to write a name without mobile number for the loyalty and membership?
So you can assign the card to the person one time, and then onwards it will be used by the card, right? Then you don't need a phone number.
We have another question: if there is an online order, can we assign a delivery to that?
You,
If there is no online order,
I think you can answer this better than I can.
yes, you can.
So it doesn't matter whether it's, so I know the demo I've shown is where patient is actually ordering online from the app. It doesn't have to be online order. It could be completely offline on the phone, WhatsApp, or at the counter, and you can still go through the same process. Any other questions?
Hi, Mr. Shah.
Yes.
Actually, as you mentioned inside that it actually analyzes your sales and make a focus for the purchase order. So I just want to know, is it like feasible with the branches also? Like if I say if we are working in the head office and we are using your site, so we feel like if we are having the B2C customer on our head office also, so it make analysis for both B2C and to the branches also.
Yes. So the answer is absolutely yes. The only limitation Sahaai has, I'll tell you right now, the only limitation Sahaai has, if you brand new store, there's nothing to analyze or study or learn from. Remember, it gets better with experience. If it has no experience, it's just a simple software that you already have, that we already use. So it has to have time to get better, right? So again, going back to those analogies that I gave, you are hiring a new manager. If he has never worked in a pharmacy, especially your pharmacy, then he does not know anything about the pharmacy to help you. Right? We also talk about interns. Yesterday when we were talking to one of the guys, it's like hiring an intern. First 2 months he doesn't know anything, right? The good news is we won't charge you for those months, so don't worry about those things. But yes, it's helpful for HO, so if you are a centralized purchase or warehouse, but it will also help the branches as well. Yeah.
We have another question.
Yeah. Yes.
Prakash sir,
Yes.
we have a visual. Can we have both of these products?
No, absolutely not. I think it was obvious. I think he just made it jokingly.
Hi, this is Yuvraj. One of the questions I had was on the RX to GX feature that you
Yes.
mentioned.
Mhm.
Right now, the power is with the pharmacy.
Yep.
But on the online app, if the customer is ordering, are we planning to give that power to the customer saying, hey, you're saving 500 rupees?
100%. 100%. It's the same algorithm. It's the same thing. We'll be providing the exact same feature to patient as well.
Eventually, not right now. Right?
We can provide in very near future. We will be using exactly same APIs, right?
Yes.
Have we done that in white paper? No.
We'll be doing next month.
Hi, Dr. Bhavi.
Yes.
One question is good. One question here.
Sure.
So all this monitoring and everything, the alerting system is pretty good, right? What happens next? Are you tracking what actions have been taken, whether the person has taken action or not? Supposing you are sent an alert.
For the, are you talking about B2C or
B2B.
B2B? Alert?
So you have sent an alert to a medical owner, right?
Right.
That these are the things you should be checking. Now whether he has checked, has he acted on it or not,
Right.
and what next?
Right. We try to stay in line being an employee, right? Sort of like a manager role rather than being a boss. So our job is to alert you right now. I'm sure we're going to learn a lot from our customers, early customers in the beta, if they want us to do anything further than that after that. So right now we haven't thought about it, following up with, hey, I told you this, मैंने ये alert किया था, आपने क्या किया? Right now we're not thinking about it. Right now we want to stop at and be really good at alerting the owner or the manager or whoever that is. And then as we learn from that, if there are good ideas, as you guys know, at least, for those who've been working with this, we're all about like feedbacks, right? So we'll get some feedbacks and we'll work on it.
Thank you.
Yep.
सर मेरा नाम मांगीलाल चौधरी है मेरा
आपको अपना नाम बताने की जरूरत नहीं, मेरे को पता है आपको।
सर मेरा एक सजेशन और डिमांड भी है कि अपने सॉफ्टवेयर में कस्टमर का कॉलिंग सिस्टम इंटीग्रेशन करके लिया तो कैसा रहेगा? क्या होता है कभी कभी हम ड्राइविंग करते हैं, कस्टमर का कॉल आता है, फ़ोन कहीं पड़ा रहता है, कस्टमर कॉल करता है, हम लोग कॉन्टेक्ट नहीं कर पाते। कभी स्टाफ को कॉल करता है, वो स्टाफ छोड़ के चला जाता है। तो ये अगर अपने सिस्टम में अगर हो गया तो एक ही नंबर पे वो हर बार उसी नंबर पे वो कॉन्टेक्ट कर सकता है, तो और अपना कस्टमर का डाटा भी।
So one thing I want to mention is with this Sahaai feature of refill reminders, audio refill reminders, we have opened the floodgate of the audio integrations. This is the first time we are doing it. Nobody's done it. So we are working with a company named Exotel.
My Operator.
My Operator. There's a company named My Operator that we're working with that provides these all audio call type of connections. And we have opened up the integrations with them. So eventually I'm sure that everything will be done through this application only.
कस्टमर जब कॉन्टेक्ट अपने को कॉल करता है तो अपने सॉफ्टवेयर में कॉल आना चाहिए।
Yes, that's what I meant by the integration. So
Right now,
integration.
we would be starting with outgoing calls and then forward to
पर्सनली
incoming
मोबाइल पे
calls.
नहीं आना चाहिए।
Okay.
Sure.
Agam is the person. Yes, sir.
My name is Manoj Shukla. I'm from Farmer. First of all, I'll congratulate you and your team, sir, for designing such a beautiful
Thank
software
you.
and helping all the distributors and retailers. We have seen almost 340 ERPs, but today what presentation we have got and the problem solving options you have given is amazing and wonderful.
Thank you.
So my congratulations. My question is that in today's scenario, at big retailers and at a distributor level, one basic problem is that to manage the expiry. Because if distributor is big, they are getting lot of retailers, physical strips are coming and then one person is counting and then writing batch number, expiry, price, quantity, everything. And then someone is putting into ERP. And it is also happening at the big retailers also. So now this is a basic problem. Actually, this is time consuming and manpower consuming. So we are planning to digitalize the things.
Yeah, so I'll answer that question. We launched a few months ago a feature that is actually extremely important for multiple locations chain pharmacy. What we launched is, you want to sort of, right now the way the world works is any pharmacy branch has any expiries or near, more like non-moving, not expiries, non-moving. They usually send it back to the warehouse or the HO, and then HO redistributes back to the chain. Because we are working with this company that has 50 plus locations, they didn't even ask for it actually. We suggested them that you can actually, if you are at one of the branch and if you scan the product, should tell you whether that product is actually moving at any other location or not, rather than taking it back to the HO and warehouse and then rerouting it. It's very inefficient way of doing it. So what we did is, you simply start scanning and it actually creates all the stock transfer automatically in the back end. So we are actually thinking about putting the same thing for the expiries. You just start scanning each and every one and it will create returns automatically in the back end. If it's 20 different distributors, it will create 20 different purchase return drafts. It's all going to be drafts, so you have to go and save each and every one of them just to make sure that everything is correct. Yes?
Yeah, hello. My name is Praveen. I'm from ADM Pharmacy. I do have two questions. The first question is, we get a product from the distributors and the batch numbers will never match with the
Physical.
CSV files. Is there anything in a solution for this?
Like I said earlier, there's of course we cannot do anything about it, right? First of all, let's just acknowledge we cannot put a gun on anybody's head saying, oh, you have to match this CSV versus the physical. Like I said, I don't know if you paid attention in one of those slides. Now onwards, we'll be actually measuring each and every purchase in terms of CSV accuracy of batch versus the physical, and it will be actually using that feedback into the distributor selection next time. So assuming you have more than one distributor selection at your disposal, if one of the distributors is constantly giving you wrong batches, the distributor will be punished for the next time when the distributor selection rounds, right? So that's going to be feedback into ratings.
And the second question is we do have multiple stores, so there are a lot of tasks to be done by each staff. So all the time I used to call them and ask them is this work is done or not? And every time I used to say this the same thing. But it has to be physically go there and I have to see the CC cams and check it out whether they had done or not. Or sometimes it is that I have to remind them this is the task they have to do. So is there any solution for this?
Yeah. So without giving up too much, because we have a reason for meeting us again in 6 months from now. We are thinking about something that actually helps you communicate internally with your staff members. Because a lot of people works one shift, the other guy works on second shift, and there's notes that you want to share among yourself, right? Of course, it has to be done through the system, otherwise system cannot do anything about it. So we are working on something, we're thinking about something, it's still early, but it's something that is going to be there for sure. That actually helps you communicate among your team members only. It doesn't go outside any other third party. So we can take some ideas from you as well while we work on the product. Let's do two more questions and then we'll go off the lunch. And like I said, even during the lunch, you feel free to grab any of us and ask questions.
This branch is being infected or being manipulated by some bills. Will that alert on the head office part or on the branch?
No branches. Because sales is happening at the branch mostly, right?
But again, how we gonna monitor on that?
No. The alert will go to the HO.
To the HO, right?
Alert will go to the HO, but it is going to be off the branch, right? Of the branch activity. So the alert will still go to the HO, right? There is no point of alerting the guy who made a mistake himself. So that won't be. Alert will go to the HO.
One more question.
Yeah, sure.
Someone said if a barcode for this loyalty program has been issued to someone and he want to use on another chemist who is also using the eVitalRx. But that is a thing which you are saying it will not happen. But what if we are having multiple branches and we want an integrated loyalty program for that?
Yes, absolutely. It's already working, right? Right. So the chain that we are talking about, its name is Apna Chemist in Delhi. They have 51 locations. They are trying to grow to 100 or so. So they are already supporting the same thing. All 51 locations share the loyalty program. If you earn loyalty points at one store, you can still go to another store and redeem it, no problem at all. So yeah, it's all there. It's ready. You don't have to wait for any updates. Let's do one more question. Yes.
Hello.
I think it's working. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Sir, how procurement
It's going in and out.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, basically I am from Namanidhi Pharma. We have n number of products in the stores. Then how to just like know जैसे कोई चीज है products जो हमारे पास available ही नहीं है, software में भी available नहीं, तो footfall data कैसे निकल पाएगी हमारे पास?
So you have to record the bounce. So you're saying the customers who come with a requirement that does not even exist in your store or even the software, all the software is irrelevant. Of course you have to record the bounce. How do we?
Because there are n number of products. Then how to get the data from this software? Because a number of products are just like launching day by day.
So it goes to a bigger question. For those who already requested a lot of products on our software, Anand sir is smiling. This is one of the biggest decisions we made 3 years ago, and trust me, it wasn't easy. It was the toughest decision we ever made. We actually doubted ourselves quite a bit. We fought among ourselves about this decision, and the decision goes like this. It's a centralized catalog. It's one catalog only. Right, Mehul Bhai actually had the audacity last week to tell me, there is another software, but they are better than this about this software, right? This particular perspective. And I said, I beg to differ. I think this is the most powerful thing. Now, to answer your question, how does it help for the products that are not even in there? There's only one answer. As we have more and more pharmacy on the platform, all the pharmacists are putting this catalog, and then everybody's sharing the same catalog. So, of course, if nobody has told us, see, we don't carry the inventory. Remember I said earlier in the presentation, I wasn't sure if you were there or not. We don't carry inventory, we don't touch any medicines at all. So this is all contributed by the pharmacy, used by the pharmacies only. So the only hope we have is a larger network, right? A lot of pharmacies coming to. So make sure you refer to Parag sir and Dhaval sir to get all the Namanidhi stores on the portal as well. Should we do one more question? Is there any question? We can do one more. Anand sir does not have any question? Or he's got a whole list that he's like, all right, we'll go for dinner. And then we'll go through each and every one question.
Yes, sir. ક્વેશ્ચન તો નથી પણ તમારો જેટલો પણ આભાર માની એટલો ઓછો છે કારણ કે રિટેલરો માટે બહુ સરસ થઈ ગયું છે.
Thank you. That's all right, before we go lunch, I just want to have 15 seconds. Before we end, I want to thank all of you guys one more time, especially those who flew in this morning, yesterday from other side of the country, and took such a precious time and efforts to be there with us on such a big day. And also, most importantly, like I said earlier, but some of you guys were not here, I really feel grateful to have not only a team that is working every day to make pharmacies better, but also some of the early adopters like Suresh uncle here, Anand sir, Rakesh sir, all of you guys who trusted us when it was too early to trust. It was too early to trust. I don't think I would have trusted myself if I was in your position. So I'm really, really grateful to have people that we work with. And all of you guys are sitting here today is not because you bought our software or not, but because you also gave us extremely important feedback. And I think that's what makes it better. That's much better, much more important than a subscription revenue. And I'm really grateful to have early customers like yourself. I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you.
I would like to take 2 minutes.
Sure.
Anand here from Maruti Medicals, Bangalore. So, I was like, we met around 2 years ago.
Yes, precisely 2 years actually.
That was
August.
when you came.
Yes, August.
Ajay Bhai came much earlier, I think. First visit was there. But then we ended up like, no, this is not going to happen here. We are completely on a different platform. My orders will be affected, my purchase will be affected, everything will be there. There were a lot of questions. I also cancelled actually. But then I don't know, Agam Bhai had forcefully brought Kaushal Bhai. I feel that's how it worked. So Kaushal Bhai came, we had a long discussion, maybe around 2 to 3 hours or more. even. So the amount of questions what I had, the solutions what I wanted, I don't know, I found some different spark in them. I felt that yes, they can do it. Then Romil also came in, they joined. Then I said that this thing has this thing has that and this, but you don't have all those. They said, हो जाएगा, क्यों नहीं होगा? And matter of fact, like within 2 weeks, they showed something to me. मैंने ठीक है यार, ये तो बढ़िया है. They're doing it even before asking. Okay, let's go forward. But ठीक है, with that confidence, I started with my small store.
For those who don't know, he's running the largest single retail store in the country. So that's
No,
why
I meant the
small.
surgical store.
There's another one too.
Just
Yes,
for
yes.
one month's trial. Okay, that was all good enough. Then we started from the year end. So year end, Kaushal doesn't, eVital doesn't have something as year end.
Yeah, we don't have year end or day end or anything.
Nothing. So we started from the 1st April. It was like any new thing is really a bumpy ride. It was a way bumpy ride. A lot of things not mapped, a lot of things packaging have changed. But okay, we did something and everything, and inventory is not in my hand. Item master is not in my hand. A lot of things we still everything was there. But yeah, eventually they have delivered what they said, and few things are still pending. And I think so by 6 months, what they're calling me, everything will be solved.
No, it will be solved. It will be solved.
And as you said, yes, Kaushal bhai, ye payment apne aap karwa dijiye. I'm ready for that.
Yes, we're counting on you. We're counting on a lot of feedbacks from you. So yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So the spark what I saw that day is still going higher, and I don't know, it'll give you a good big blast of a firework. I don't know what that's meant.
That's the hope.
I'm happy to be integrated with all you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for calling me.
Yes, Praveen sir.
The same thing like Ajay ji said, I want to also share with Anand, and I want to share about Ajay and Hamid. I was having a chain of pharmacies.
This is not orchestrated, by the way. I haven't written any of the scripts. This is all impromptu. I assure you that.
We have a chain of pharmacies. So initially we used to use a C-squares form. Most of our employees used to spend a lot of time on that. They feel that like they are developing some software. So that is what so I was the first interaction was with Hamid. The second interaction was Ajay ji, and Hamid was just making these lot of patience. So sometimes I used to lose my patience and I used to shout on him. So he used to patiently answer the questions and he used to give all the answers, whatever it is necessary. And Ajay ji, "Nahin, ye ho jate ji, ye ho jate." And personally, I met with Ajay in Hyderabad. I got confidence.
Yes.
I only took them to different vendors and say that like, you just please use this software. So,
Definitely.
You know where's the magic? That's his beard.
Yes.
yeah, that is his beard.
It could also be last name. All right, thank you so much. Appreciate, guys. And there's a lunch, networking session, conversations, questions, I'm sure. So let's have some fun. Thank you.